Welcome. You found a quiet place, a place where the world moves slower. Tonight, we return to a simpler time, to a day in the life of a medieval household, not the history of kings or knights or battles, but the calm, ordinary rhythm of everyday life, the gentle work of drawing water, the soft splash of washing clothes by the river, the quiet melting of wax, and the hush of bread torn at a shared table, each task slow and deliberate, each moment steady and warm. Let this be your rest. Let the stillness wrap around you like wool. Breathe deeply. We begin at first light, with water at the well. Let us begin at the quietest part of the day, when the stars have only just begun to fade, and the light of morning is not yet bold, but soft, like a pale ribbon stretching across the horizon. The year is somewhere in the late 13th century. We are in a small village, English perhaps, or nestled in the Low Countries of Flanders, or tucked between the forests and fields of northern France. The details are not so important. This is a place that could be many places, a time that could be many times. What matters is the rhythm of the day, the soft, unhurried pulse of a world that moves by candlelight, and where a full day begins, not with clocks, but with the rising mist. And so the household stirs, not all at once. There is no alarm, no sudden jolt of waking, only the quiet rustle of straw, the soft creak of wood as one person, perhaps a servant, or the eldest daughter, rises before the others. Her feet find the cool, beaten floor. A rush of chill air greets her through the gaps in the shutter. The hearth, now only glowing ash, gives off no real warmth, but she is used to this. She moves without complaint, layering coarse linen over her shift, wrapping a woolen shawl around her shoulders. The shawl smells faintly of smoke and lanolin. Today, as most days, her first task is to fetch water. She takes up a jug, roughly shaped, fired in a local kiln, sturdy. It is not decorative. Its purpose is clear and simple. Heavy when full, it is manageable when empty. Her hand brushes the door latch, and it opens with a soft scrape. Outside, the air is still cool with the breath of night, and damp. The morning dew clings to the stone step, to the tufts of grass that push up between the cobbles. A thin fog lies low to the earth. It will burn off soon, but not yet. She steps carefully onto the path, and the only sounds are her footsteps, the birds, and the quiet burble of the stream beyond the fields. But she's not going to the stream. Not this morning. The village has a communal well, stone-ringed, with a low wooden roof to shelter it. It lies near the centre of the village, not far from the chapel. A footpath, worn smooth by years of use, wends its way there. Along the way, she passes homes that are still quiet. Smoke has not yet risen from their chimneys. A dog shifts in sleep under a cart. A few chickens rustle beneath the eaves, but do not yet crow. The well itself is cold to the touch, the stone slick with moisture where the sun has not reached. A heavy iron hook holds the pulley chain, and a wooden bucket hangs waiting. She lowers it carefully, the chain giving off a faint clink, clink, clink as it descends. Down it goes, past lichen-covered stones into the cool darkness below. The splash echoes faintly upward, followed by the deep, quiet groan of the bucket as it fills. She draws it up slowly, hand over hand, rhythmically, without strain. This is a motion she knows well, a quiet ritual, a patient task. When it surfaces, the water in the bucket is dark and shining. She tips it carefully into a jug. A little spills, always does. It hisses gently on the warm stone. The jug, now full, is heavy, but not unbearably so. She rests for a moment, sitting on the low edge of the well, hands wrapped around the curved clay, absorbing its coolness. The sun is higher now, a little braver. A rooster crows distantly. Another joins in, then a third. The day is properly beginning. The walk back is slower. The weight of the water must be balanced with care. Carried with 2 hands, or on the hip, or perhaps with a cloth pad on the shoulder if she's used to it. This jug will supply water for washing, of bodies, of clothes, of dishes and hands. Later in the day, more trips will be made. Buckets filled for the animals, for cooking, for soaking dried beans or grains. But this first trip is special, it sets the tone. As she walks, the village slowly awakens. A window shutter opens. Someone stirs a fire. A goat bleats. A curtain flutters. In this world, the day builds gently, without rush. Each task waits for the one before it. There is no multitasking, no skipping ahead. She reaches the house again. The door opens softly on its wooden hinge. Inside, the hearth is coaxed to life. A bit of kindling, a twist of dried grass, a few breaths. A flame catches. The jug is set near the hearth to take on warmth. Its sides glisten with condensation. Later, perhaps after lighting more candles, sweeping the floors, or feeding the chickens, the water will be warmed in an iron pot. There is no faucet, no endless supply. Water is precious, drawn with effort, used with thought, heated slowly. The pot is suspended above the hearth on a swing arm or simple trivet. As the fire grows, the water begins to stir. First a shimmer, then a ripple. Steam rises. If soap is to be made, it may be today. If laundry is to be soaked, this may be the beginning. But none of that has happened yet. For now, it is only warm water in a quiet room. A kettle-shaped pot may sit beside it for tea, if one is lucky enough to have it, or for warmed ale or broth. The steam curls upward, catching the light that slips through the shutters. In these few minutes, before the true labour of the day begins, the house holds its breath. There is a peace here, fleeting but treasured, a kind of sacred quiet that belongs only to early morning. Children still sleep. The sun filters in at a low angle, painting long lines on the floorboards. The chickens rustle again. A low thump from the stable. A cow shifts its weight. The world outside gathers itself. But inside, there is only the gentle sound of the warming pot, the faint creak of a stool, the crackle of dry wood, the slow breath of someone preparing for a day, not of excitement, but of usefulness. And so, this is how it begins. Not with noise, or spectacle, or shouting, but with a walk, a jug, a well, a woman who knows what must be done, and does it. There will be harder chores to come, more physical ones. Laundry, cooking, scrubbing, carrying. But the quiet dignity of this first task is not small. In a world where nothing comes easily, drawing water is the first act of care. For oneself, for others, for the rhythm of the day to follow. She did it yesterday, she will do it again tomorrow, and now perhaps you may rest. The water is drawn, the fire is lit. There is nothing to rush toward. Let your thoughts drift. Let your breathing slow. There is time. You are safe here. You are warm. You are at peace. The sun is higher now, but still gentle. It spills across the fields like poured milk, catching on each blade of grass, each heavy leaf. A fine warmth drapes over the village rooftops, softening the edges of stone and wood. Already the early tasks of the morning have begun. Fires have been kindled, animals fed, perhaps bread dough set to rise. But now attention turns to another familiar chore, one done often by hands practiced in its patience. Laundry. There is no rush to it, No boiling machine, no timer counting down, just the rhythm of water, of scrubbing cloth against stone, and the hush of air-dried linen swaying under open sky. Let us walk slowly now toward the river. The laundry is gathered in a woven basket. Not clean like today's, no fresh plastic, no starch or floral scent, but hand-woven, the fibres darkened with use. In it there are folded garments, tunics, shifts, coifs, kerchiefs gathered over days. They are soiled with dust from the fields, ash from the hearth, milk spills, crumbs and sweat, stains from meals and children and the labour of daily life. There are no bright dyes here. Most fabric is undyed wool, pale linen, or softly faded hues, brown, grey, blue. Occasionally a deeper russet or a rare, dusky green, if the family is fortunate. But the tones are modest, earthy. Nothing shouts. Our laundress, perhaps the same woman who fetched water earlier, has set out from the house, her basket balanced on her hip, or tied with a sling over her back. A few wooden pegs rest in her apron, along with a puck of lye soap and a stone she uses for beating cloth. The path is familiar, well-worn. It follows the slope behind the village, past the garden plots toward the low banks of the river. Not a roaring river, but a narrow one, shallow with water clear enough to see minnows darting among the pebbles. At the riverbank, she sets the basket down. It is quiet here, peaceful. Birds hop among the reeds. Dragonflies skim the surface. A breeze shifts the leaves overhead, dappling the grass with moving shadow. There is no laundry board, no soap suds or plastic buckets. Instead, the work begins slowly, methodically. She finds a patch of smooth rock close to the water. In some villages, there might be shared stones already worn smooth by years of scrubbing. Here, the rock dips just slightly, enough to hold water and catch the weight of the fabric. She kneels. The grass bends beneath her knees, soft and damp. She rolls up her sleeves. Her hands, already weathered, know what to do. One by one, the garments are soaked, pressed under the surface of the river, where the flow is slow. She lifts them, wrings them out, and lays them across the rock. The cloth darkens with water, then lightens again, as it dries in patches beneath the sun. Some are draped over bushes, others laid over smooth stones. On a breezy day, they might be pegged to a long rope strung between two trees. The laundry flutters like pale flags, shirts, chemises, aprons. Not a loud dance, but a slow sway. This is the most peaceful part. The waiting. She rests in the grass, hands in her lap, watching the river pass by. Her skirt is damp at the hem, but she does not mind. The sun will dry it. Everything here dries in its own time. She might hum a quiet tune, or say a short prayer, or simply watch the clouds as they drift overhead. Time stretches in moments like this. It does not matter what hour it is, only whether the cloth is dry, whether the shadows have shifted, whether the work has been done properly. When the laundry is finally dry, she gathers it carefully. Each piece is shaken free of leaves or grass, folded along creases learned from habit. Some items are still slightly damp. They'll finish drying near the hearth. The basket is lighter now, but fragrant in its own quiet way, not of perfume, but of river water and sun. She hoists it to her hip once more and walks slowly back. The river murmurs behind her. The birds still sing. The wind follows. As she passes through the village, she may nod to a neighbour, exchange a few words about the weather, the harvest, the goat that got loose again. There is no pride in this task, but no shame either. It is simply part of life. It is what must be done, and it has been done well. Back home, she sets the basket near the bedchamber. The clean linen will be used for dressing the family, for laying the table, or drying hands and cheeks and floors. Some will be stored in a chest with a bit of lavender or rosemary, if such things are at hand. And then, with no fanfare, she moves to the next task. Perhaps preparing the midday meal, perhaps darning a sock, perhaps fetching wood for the oven. There is no celebration here, but there is satisfaction. The work was done gently, properly, with care. And now the home is just a little cleaner, a little more in order. And in this world, that is a kind of peace. And so, dear listener, you may rest too. The water still flows in your mind. The rustle of linen, the hum of insects, the warmth of sunlight on a damp hem. These are gentle things, small things, but they matter. There is no need to rush ahead. Let your thoughts be like the river, drifting, patient, cool and clear. Let your breath slow. Let your limbs grow heavy. The laundry is done. The day moves on. You are safe here. You are clean. You are still. You are home. Soap, in this century, is rarely scented. It is made from rendered animal fat and ash. Lye soap, coarse and functional. She wets it, rubs it between her palms and begins to scrub. There is a rhythm to it. Rub, fold, press, rinse, beat against stone, repeat. The sound is soft but steady, the slap of wet linen, the scrape of fabric on rock, the gentle rush of the river beside her. She does not hurry. There is no need. This is the work of the morning, and it cannot be rushed. Sometimes she pauses to stretch her back or wipe sweat from her brow with the corner of her sleeve. But the river cools her, and the sun warms her again. In balance, it is bearable. Children might come to watch. A goose may wander too close. Another woman might join her, settling beside her with her own basket, exchanging quiet words or silence, both equally welcome. Once the garments are scrubbed clean, they are wrung out once more, twisted with strong wrists, the water spinning out in tiny arcs. She spreads each piece out to dry. It is later in the day now. The sun leans toward the western edge of the sky. Shadows stretch longer across the floor, slanting through the open shutters like long fingers of gold and grey. In a medieval home, light fades quickly. There are no overhead bulbs to flick on, no switches or sockets, no flickering screens or flashing signs. As the daylight retreats, households prepare for the dusk, not with fear or resistance, but with simple readiness. Darkness is a part of life, expected and familiar. It is not chased away, but softened. And that softening is done with candlelight. Let us now step quietly into the world of candle making, a slow, fragrant ritual, both useful and beautiful, tucked within the rhythm of the medieval day. In the homes of the wealthier classes, beeswax is sometimes used, fragrant and golden, gathered from carefully tended hives. But for most people, especially in rural villages, tallow is more common. Tallow is rendered fat, usually from cows or sheep, collected during butchering and slowly boiled down until it becomes clean, white and pourable. Its smell is strong, musky, a little bitter, but it burns evenly, and the light it gives is steady. In some places, women make a mixture of both, beeswax for the Sabbath or special days, and tallow for the rest of the week. In this home, the wax has been prepared earlier. It rests now in a pot near the hearth, thick and solid in the cool air. Soon, it will be warmed and turned to liquid gold once again. While the wax is heating, the candlemaker prepares her wicks. They are made from plant fibres, flax or hemp, twisted tightly and cut to length. Each wick is rolled between fingers until it's even and firm, then tied at one end to a wooden stick, so it can hang freely. Wicks are everything. A crooked one will burn too fast. A thick one will smoke. A wick too thin will drown in its own wax, and so she handles them with care, as though each small string holds a future flame. She lays them on the table beside her, the sticks forming neat little rows, soldiers in stillness, waiting to be dipped. She places the pot of wax near the coals. Slowly, the solid block begins to shimmer. Edges soften. The surface shifts, then ripples, then collapses into golden liquid. The smell rises, thick, honey-sweet if it is beeswax, or sharper, animal-like if tallow. Either way, the warmth of it fills the room. It clings to the walls, to the sleeves of her tunic, to the wooden spoons hanging nearby. She stirs it gently with a rod, checking its smoothness, its clarity. It must not boil, only melt. When it is ready, the dipping begins. This is the heart of candle making. One wick at a time, or sometimes several held on a rod, is lowered into the melted wax, only briefly, just enough to coat the fibres. Then it is lifted slowly, smoothly. The wax clings in a thin skin. The wick is held aloft, allowed to cool in the open air just for a moment, and then dipped again, and again, and again. Each dip adds a layer. Each layer builds the body of the candle, soft, slow coats, wrapping around the last. There is no hurrying this. The wax must cool just enough before the next dip. If it is too warm, the new layer melts the one beneath. If it is too cool, the wax cracks. And so she waits, breathes, thinks. Perhaps she hums a quiet melody, a tune passed down from her mother, a song the wax already knows. She dips again, and again. It may take 30 dips, 40, more. The candle grows slowly, fatter, smoother, heavier. Its skin begins to shine. When a candle is thick enough, she sets it gently on a board to cool. Some stand in clay moulds. Others lie on a rack of wooden slats, arranged with space between them so their softness isn't disturbed. They are not identical. Some curve a little to one side, some are longer, some thicker, but all are beautiful in their own quiet way. The table fills with them, cooling in golden rows, each one a little promise. Once cooled, she inspects them. The bases are trimmed, excess wick cut. Some might be lightly carved if the candle is for the chapel or the table of a wealthier home. Most are left plain. The wick is tested, twisted to check its stiffness. The body of the candle is rolled gently in cloth to smooth any bumps. And then they are stored, some in jars, some in a woven basket. Others are tied in pairs, hung from a hook on the wall. The smell lingers in the room, thick and soft, almost sweet. It is evening now. The light outside has dimmed further. It is time to light one. She selects a small candle, plain, stubby, but perfectly made. She strikes flint to steel, catching a spark in the wick of an oil lamp. The spark is coaxed to flame, the flame steadied, and then transferred to the candle. The wick catches, hesitates, then glows. A small, steady flame, no bigger than a thumb, but warm. True. It dances, and in that moment the room is transformed. Shadows are pushed gently to the edges. The walls glow. The wood grain shimmers. The worn clay of the cups and bowls shines softly. The candle does not shout. It does not blaze, but it holds the dark at bay. By this new light she sits. Perhaps she picks up her sewing. Perhaps she eats a small supper. Perhaps she simply rests, watching the flame move like breath. Outside, the wind stirs the trees. The world turns toward sleep. But inside, the candle burns. Its light is a kind of music, one that plays in silence, a lullaby for the eyes. She leans back, closes her eyes. In a few hours, it will gutter and go out. Nothing lasts forever. But for now, the room is safe. So ends the candle making. It is not a grand task, not one written in bold letters or carved in stone, but it is a tender craft. In every home, someone must make the light. Someone must melt and shape and wait and dip again. Someone must take fire into their hands, not to burn, but to warm. And so, as you lie now in your own place of rest, let the glow of this small task remain with you. Let it soften the dark around you. Let it flicker gently behind your closed eyes. You are not alone. The candle burns beside you. You are safe here. You are warm. You are at peace. The morning is nearly gone. Its chores have passed like waves, each one folding quietly into the next. Water was fetched, clothes were scrubbed, candles were dipped and set aside to cool. The body is warm now, gently tired. The hands are clean, but worn. And now, before the sun reaches its highest point, comes the part of the day that calls everyone home. The preparing of the midday meal. This is not a feast. There will be no glistening birds, no courses of sugar-dusted sweets or expensive spices. This is a simple meal, but it is no less sacred. It is made slowly, from what was stored, what was grown, what was gifted by hand or by harvest. A fire is tended, a pot is chosen. The room begins to fill with the sounds and scents of comfort. Let us now step softly into the kitchen hearth, into the warm, slow making of midday food. The heart of the meal is the hearth, a wide open space carved into stone, framed by soot-blackened bricks. There is no oven door, no knobs, no gas to control, only fire, only wood. The fire must be watched, nurtured like a child. Too little flame and the food will take all day, too much and it will scorch. And so the cook learns to listen to it, the crackle of the logs, the hiss of damp bark, the flicker and lean of the flames. A trivet is used to set pots just above the coals, or a simple hook and chain system lets the pot swing above the fire. Tools are simple, an iron spoon, a carved ladle, a clay bowl for holding scraps. There is no rush. The fire is alive and must be treated with respect. It teaches patience. Now the ingredients are laid out. A wooden board holds a few root vegetables, turnips, onions, a carrot, perhaps a parsnip. These were pulled from the ground not long ago, brushed clean, stored in a cool cellar. A small sack of barley or spelt rest nearby, dry and clean, a few kernels escaping through a seam. A tiny cloth bundle holds salt. Not much, just enough. There is a scrap of salted meat, no larger than the palm of a hand. Perhaps pork, or a smoked fish. It has been preserved carefully, kept dry and out of reach of rodents. It smells sharp and deep, ready to flavour the pot. There is no abundance here, no excess, but there is enough. Enough to fill the belly, enough to warm the bones. The cook begins by washing the vegetables in warm water from the jug near the fire. The skin of the carrots is rough, the onion's layers papery. The knife is not sharp by modern standards, but it is steady in her hands. She peels and chops with slow precision. Thick slices, nothing wasted. The barley is measured out by eye, no scales or cups, just knowledge. A handful per person, a little more for luck. Everything is placed in a clay or iron pot. Vegetables, grain, a bit of salt, the meat last of all. Then water is added, drawn earlier from the well, cool and clean. The pot is placed over the fire. It begins to warm. The steam rises. This part takes time. The pot simmers gently, just above the flame. Bubbles form slowly at first, then more steadily. A soft sound like breath or rain tapping on the roof. The scent begins to fill the room. Earthy, savoury, honest. The barley thickens the broth. The fat from the meat melts into it, flavouring each bite. The onions soften, becoming sweet. The carrots deepen in colour. The entire pot begins to transform. There is no need to stir constantly, only now and then. A wooden spoon turns slowly through the pot, a taste taken from the edge. Sometimes a wild herb is added, sorrel or nettle, or a few leaves of marjoram picked from a pot outside the door. These add colour, a little brightness. Outside, the village is quiet. Those not cooking are working in the fields or napping in the shade. But here, the hearth crackles. The stew simmers. The air holds warmth. While the stew cooks, the table is laid. There are no matching plates, no silver cutlery. Wooden bowls are set out, smoothed by years of use. A ladle, a few pewter spoons. A cloth is wiped across the surface of the table, catching dust. A loaf of coarse bread is brought out, baked earlier in the week. It is heavy, dense, but when sliced, the inside is soft. If there is butter, it is brought out in a clay crock. If there is ale, it is poured into a jug. If not, water from the well will do. There is no decoration, no candles unless one is already lit from morning. Only food, warmth, and readiness. When the pot is ready, it is moved to the table or hearthstone with care. The lid is lifted, steam billows up. The smell deepens, rich and comforting. Bowls are filled slowly, one by one. A bit of broth, a ladle of grain, a slice of carrot, a cube of meat. The cook serves herself last. They eat together, slowly. Conversation is quiet, if there is any at all. The meal is a pause, a place to gather breath. There is a rhythm to the eating, chewing, tearing, sipping. A pause for wiping one's mouth. A nod of approval. A soft sigh. Sometimes children fall asleep before the end. Sometimes a dog curls under the bench, resting in the warmth. The meal doesn't last long, but it fills. When the bowls are emptied, the cleaning begins. Leftovers are saved, if there are any. The pot is wiped out. The bowls washed with warm water and ash. The spoons rinsed and set to dry. Crumbs are swept. The fire is fed a little more wood to burn through the afternoon. The table, once full, is bare again, but the home is full of warmth. The smell of stew lingers in the air. A smell that says, you're cared for, you're fed. And then, quiet. Some return to work. Some nap. Some sit in the doorway, sewing or mending. The sun begins its descent. But for now, the house rests. The meal was made with care and eaten with gratitude. This too is peace. And so, dear listener, let your mind settle now. Let the warmth of the hearth surround you. Let the scent of slow stew and fresh bread fill your thoughts. You have eaten, you have worked, you have rested. There is nothing more to do now, only to sleep. Let your thoughts fade like steam rising from a warm bowl. Let your breath move slowly. You are safe here. You are full. You are home. The sun has made its journey. What was once golden above the rooftops is now sinking low behind the hills. The sky glows with long bands of rose and grey. Shadows reach across the floor, pooling in corners. The air grows cooler, quieter. This is not the end of the day as we know it now. There are no bright lights to chase away the dark. No screens glowing, no engines humming outside. Only stillness and the soft work of preparing for sleep. Let us walk together through this final part of the day. The tidy up, the winding down, the folding in. The home is smaller now. The world has shrunk to this room, this hearth, this quiet. Let us begin. The broom is simple. Tied twigs bound at the end of a long stick. Its bristles are uneven, but they do the work. The woman, tired but steady, sweeps in slow, looping arcs. From corner to centre, from beneath the bench, behind the door, ash from the hearth, breadcrumbs, threads from mending. Each sweep makes a faint whisper against the floorboards. There is no hurry. This is not punishment or burden. It is peace. The body is slowing. The breath is deeper. The motion of the broom is almost like rocking a cradle. She gathers the sweepings into a small pile and carries them outside, letting the wind take them. The house breathes easier. The day's tools are returned to their places. The ladle is rinsed and hung. The knife wiped clean and tucked beneath a cloth. The thread and needle are set into a pouch. The scraps of fabric folded. The jug, now half empty, is capped. The bread wrapped in cloth and placed in the cupboard. The candles are trimmed. The burnt edges of the wicks pinched and tidied. One is left burning near the hearth, just one, its glow a warm eye in the dimness. It flickers gently, making shadows dance across the beams. There are no drawers to shut, no cabinets to close, but there is order here, a kind of still grace. Each thing in its place, each motion an act of care. The beds are simple, wooden frames filled with straw or rushes, covered by linen sheets and woolen blankets. The straw is shaken out, the linen straightened. Perhaps new herbs, lavender or mint, are tucked between the sheets to keep away insects and bring calming scents. Children's beds are checked first. A small doll adjusted, a tiny sock tucked in, a soft hum in the air. Then her own bed. She smooths the blanket, lays her shift nearby. The bed is not soft by modern measure, but it is familiar, welcoming, forgiving, and it is enough. Before sleep she washes. A small basin of warm water is poured from the jug. She dips a cloth and wipes her face, her hands, behind her ears, the back of her neck. There is no soap tonight, just water. The motion is unhurried, a ritual, like unrolling a scroll, like closing a book. The basin is set aside, the cloth hung to dry. The day has been worked into her skin. But this last act of washing tells her body, it is time to rest now. The fire, too, must be readied for night. It is not extinguished, only quieted. She pushes the coals together, adding a thick log that will burn slowly. She covers it with a pinch of ash to smother the flames, but keep the ember alive. In the morning, she will return to it. Blow gently, stir, and the fire will remember. For now, it glows softly. A pulse of red in the hearth, a heartbeat in the wall. She walks once around the room, checks the shutters, closes the door, picks up the candle and carries it to the bedside. Its flame flickers with the movement, then steadies. She sets it down and watches it, just for a while. In its glow, everything softens. The wooden walls look golden. The floor hums with warmth. Even the shadows feel gentle. Her eyes grow heavy. The world narrows. She removes her outer gown, folding it neatly, slides into the cool linen sheets, pulls the woolen blanket over her shoulder. The bed creaks softly beneath her. Outside, an owl calls. A breeze stirs the leaves. Somewhere in the distance, a dog barks once, then is quiet. She breathes in and lets the day fall away. There is no more to do now. No errands, no lists, no messages to answer. Only stillness, only the weight of blankets and the hush of the room. Only the gentle memory of what has passed, of laundry drying by the river, of candles dipped and hung, of soup bubbling in the pot. This too is history, and not battles, not kings, but quiet acts, repeated in 1,000 homes, year after year, day after day, a kind of love made visible by doing. And now it is done. So let yourself rest. Let the candlelight soften your breath. Let the hush of straw and linen hold you. There is no need to think anymore. You have tended the fire. You have folded the cloth. You have drawn the water. You are home now. Let sleep come slowly. Let dreams unfold gently. You are safe here. You are warm. You are at peace. Good night. The day is done. The candles have been dipped. The stew has been shared. The broom has swept the last corner. And now, the home is still. There is no need to rise. No more tasks waiting. Just sleep. The same sleep taken by those who lived long before us. In woolen beds, beside fading fires. Beneath stars we still share. Let your breath grow slower. Let the dark settle around you gently. You are safe. You are warm. You are home. Good night.